guys. This live thing still confuses me every time I do this. Okay, well, I was gonna do this horizontally, but I guess that's not gonna happen this time. I'm a mess. I don't know. I gotta figure out a better live system. Not quite there yet. All right. It's been about 2, 3 weeks since I've worked on this one. Yep, love it. I will be honest, but let's just see what happens. Usually before I start, if I haven't worked on something in a minute, just I check for like lumps and bumps and stuff I might want to get rid of. I like to keep things smooth usually, so I'll just scrape off some of that. This kind of helps with layering, because if you start getting too thick, it gets really messy and can really mess up your foam. Sorry, I'm still adjusting my stuff here. I'm going to try to do about an hour, and then maybe take a break, and then we'll see from there what we're going to do. If anybody has questions, just let me know. I have my window wide open, so you might be hearing some Brooklyn ambiance. I think I'm actually going to totally redo this dude back here. It's kind of the problem when you leave a painting to sit for a week or two. Kind of shift gears a little bit, and then my original idea kind of changes. So totally redo this figure back here. This is the problem when you don't really do a fully fleshed out sketch. Kind of keep painting over things over and over again. Hey, thank you. I always like to draw a fish for some reason. Hey, welcome. Just getting started here. Oh, nice. Yeah, I've just been doing some watercolors. Haven't done them in a while, but it's kind of fun to do. So I just started working at this art school for kids, and they just kind of threw me into randomly teaching stuff. So I'm randomly teaching a watercolor class this week. So I've been trying to brush up on watercolor. It's pretty fun so far. I haven't really done much. I actually, the first class I was supposed to teach, there was only one kid that was supposed to come that day, and he didn't show up, so I didn't end up teaching that day. But this Wednesday will be my first class. It seems like a cool place so far. I haven't really spent much time there yet. Super creative. That's what I want. I've been looking for some kind of part-time job because I'm broke. So, but like, it's really hard to find anything that's like fun or pays well, I guess. Eventually I'll be able to make my own classes. If I do well, I can make my own syllabus, which is pretty fun because creativity is like the thing I'm best at, I think, so I should do pretty well at that. Oh yeah. Yeah, classes, I didn't really take a lot of classes when I was growing up as much until I got to college, but it can definitely be cool. Like you might be able to find something specific. Um, the place I'm going to be working at teaches like they have comic book classes. They have different like age groups and stuff, so you can kind of find what you like the best. Yeah. And I just found out some of the people who work there actually went to my college that I went to, so we have a similar background. We're all like illustration students, so that's part of learning illustrations, like graphic novels and more of the technical side of stuff. I definitely love comics, but it never really worked out for me in my drawing style. I just kind of went a different direction. Speaking of comics, I just watched 90s Batman movies. The what's his name, Michael Keaton ones and the Val Kilmer and Jim Carrey. That one is so weird. Yeah, watercolor can be really difficult, I think, for a lot of people because it's kind of can't go back on your mistakes. That's the hardest part. Um, but actually, that's kind of why I tend to, when I do watercolors, I mix it with gouache, so I kind of have a bit of an opaqueness to it and kind of go over with white and stuff, or even just mixing, doing your whites last with like acrylic or something, just to kind of brighten it up. But actually, I was thinking because I'm going to be teaching this little class, I might do some YouTube videos with some watercolors soon. Just have to figure out what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll do some kind of like still life or something. I haven't done that in a while. And now I'm basically working in a real art studio, so I have access to other art supplies and stuff that I can use to make tutorials and stuff like that. really depends on the watercolors too, because you can spend a lot of money on really nice watercolors, and they're a lot more pigmented and like easier to work with versus like the cheap pan ones, which they're totally fine, but it's kind of like a different medium in its own. Because tube watercolors are just, they're wet obviously compared to the dried ones, so it's kind of a different way of painting. By the way, I don't know if how loud this music is, if it's too loud or if it's annoying. Just let me know. I can adjust it. So tomorrow, another part of the job is that I have to work at some children's birthday parties where they do like crafts and stuff, so that's fun. It's really not that bad. I did one party, it was like, the kids are loud, but like, I don't know, kids don't really bother me, they're just kids, I don't really care. I just have to like put a canvas in front of them and brushes and be like, here you go. No, you're good. Thank you, Nadia. That's cool. Yeah, watercolors are interesting. Actually, I inherited a decent amount of wet watercolors, I guess. Two watercolors from someone, a friend of mine who passed away, um, gave them to me. So that's what I have right now. They're really nice. I have to say, I think actually for watercolors, I think the paper is more important than the paint themselves a lot of the time. Cheap paper just does not work well. You don't need like the really expensive stuff, but at least like I'd say mid grade at minimum. Oh, awesome! That's cool. Sorry. I'll probably use every art supply possible. I think whatever I can touch. I even took an airbrushing class in college. I don't even know if they do that anymore. Done t-shirts, screen printing. I do sculpture stuff. Actually, I might end up teaching a stop motion class this summer. That would be really fun to me. I like all kinds of paint. I do really like oil. It's been a while since I've done oil though, just because of space reasons. But hopefully one day I'll get back into that. Maybe now working at this art studio, I'll have more access to be able to do it. This part, you can see this kind of how I keep the shape of things, and what helps it look like 3D is making sure you keep your brush strokes aligned with that. So I'm trying to kind of shape it as if it's three-dimensional here. So a lot of times I'll leave like empty space kind of in the middle of a figure for either highlight or shadow, depending on the angle. It just kind of adds more depth to it as you layer and layer. Hello. If anybody has questions, let me know. I'm learning how to be a teacher right now, so I have to learn how to be a teacher essentially. So yeah, let me know. I'm a little shy, but trying. It's freaking hot in New York today. I'm not ready for the summer. Thanks. I hope so. So far, I think the students are between 6 and like 15. So, and then there's adults as well. I think I would rather teach kids though than adults. 'Cause adults are just mean sometimes. Kids are mean too, but in a funnier way. I'm more worried about some of these kids' parents than themselves, so we'll see how it goes. It's definitely a very wealthy area of Brooklyn, I would say, where these students are, so It's not the kids' fault. Jeez, there's some dog fight going on inside. Distracted by a dog fight. I think it might have been my neighbor's dog and somebody else. My dog is sleeping right now, hopefully. Can you hear those birds? It's kind of a weird painting. I think I should have planned it a little bit better. So I'm kind of unsure about it, but we'll see how it goes. Oh, my doggy is coming. I know, sir. What you doing, pup? Let's go. Hello, Ricardo. This painting is kind of just a little, I wanted to do a little test kind of surreal painting, I guess. I always just like to draw fish for some reason. And this background image I'm using is a photo I took at a cemetery in Brooklyn here. And I don't know, I just wanted to, a lot of times I'll take photos that I take out in public and put it together and do some painting like this. So, but you can make your own interpretation. And I mean, a lot of times my paintings start kind of with a vague meaning, and then as I go along, things change and shift and kind of turn into something else. So it might end in a totally different place. know if I've always done surrealism kind of. Trying to think. I mean, I do a lot of different styles. Like, my drawing style is a lot more cartoony kind of and silly, I guess you could say. So it's kind of not even the same genre at all. But then I don't know, when I paint, I've always been interested in like portraits mostly, and I think from that kind of stemmed into getting into more surreal stuff. I remember I did take a class in college that kind of made me more interested in surrealism. But I've always kind of been in between just like illustration and fine art, so I can't really decide which one works for me, but I do both. Originally, well, for years I wanted to be a children's book illustrator, which I still sort of want to do, but it's not really like my main goal anymore. But I mean, maybe working with kids will make me more interested in that again. But we'll see. It's not a lot of money to be made in the art world, unfortunately. So it's just kind of tough out there. I kind of hate the whole like art world though. It's like you gotta know people, and then it becomes like this kind of culty clique thing where you just like hang out with each other. The Society of Illustrators. I don't know. I'm not really a group type person. I'm very loner-y, and a lot of this stuff just feels so like forced or like I just don't want to deal with people really. So just kind of want to do my own thing. Yeah, the money part is the hardest part of being an artist, but I will say there is money in graphic design, which I did for years. I hated doing it, but it's a job. I was a t-shirt designer, and I designed like packaging and random stuff for a long time. But it gets boring, and it kind of kills your creativity. So I would almost say find a job in a different field and then just do the art as a hobby, or you can try to make money off of it, but it's definitely not easy. I think the most important thing is just meeting friends in the art world. All right, I'll see you later. usually at this point in this painting process, my layering, this is when I start using my Goldens, which they're super opaque, so really, that's why I can kind of just go over this blue without any white or anything, just kind of layers super easily. Some of them aren't as opaque as others, but kind of learn which ones you like the best, I guess. They are a little expensive, but they definitely last a long time because you really don't need to use very much of them. You can just use a couple drops and it goes a long way. Well, I will be showing some art soon in New York. If anybody's in New York City, in Brooklyn, I'm showing a couple pieces in June. I'll post about it more when it gets closer, but yeah, I'll be there if you want to come say hello. There's drinks and stuff. I don't drink, but I'll be hanging out there. And I mean, you can follow me on Instagram as well if you don't. Probably might be easier to keep track of the updates there. Same username there. Sorry, the cops are coming in. Welcome, guys. If you have any questions, let me know. Something I do for my shadows typically is purple. Usually it doesn't matter what undertone there is. Purple or blue kind of adds a nice depth. I'll end up going over this a little bit again. Hey, Michaela. Yeah, I should talk. I don't know what to talk about. What should I talk about? I'm still getting used to doing these lives, so I'm kind of learning what works and what doesn't work. Also, kind of the reason I go all over the place, if you notice me, it's because I'm letting areas dry. Because I am going all over the place and I work very wet. I like to give each space a little bit of time. And because it's acrylic, it really doesn't need very much time, so a couple minutes in between. Sometimes I will let it dry longer, even overnight, when I get to a certain point, because even if this looks dry right here, this will still come off if I try hard enough, which is useful for certain times, but then other times it's not. Boasting. quite sure what direction this is really going to go in yet. I may have to spend more time thinking about it, unless you guys have any suggestions. So, like for this figure here, using a blue instead of black, just you can already see it's just gives it more depth than just a blob of black paint right there. Another big thing I do layering wise is after a part's dry, I go over it again. It's kind of just over and over and over. I'll just basically reinforce the highlights here. I'll go back over it again until I feel like I have the right level of blending. It's also kind of interesting because I feel like I still consider this part of the painting an underpainting. I really don't even consider it like painting until I'm at the very end, the last few layers. It's finishing it. So I am going to be teaching a watercolor class in real life soon. So I was just wondering if anybody has any suggestions or ideas or stuff. Like, I think what I'm going to do is bring that same stuff to YouTube as well. Teach what I teach there, here. So, you know, if there's anything you want to see, it is for kids, but I think I can find ways that I can kind of, you know, transform it to work for all ages. But if watercolors are something you're interested in, let me know. That's just what I'm working on right now. This is acrylic, but I eventually want to teach some acrylic classes. But right now we're just sticking with watercolors. So I think my next live I'm going to be doing watercolors. So if there's something you do want to see, let me know. I can try to think of a project related to that. Kind of the way I work with my acrylics is sort of because of how I work with watercolors and gouache. Those two actually are some of my favorite mediums, and I kind of think I work very right with acrylic because that's just how I like to paint with watercolor. I think it just kind of just happened accidentally. So. Honestly, I'm not super happy with this background, so I might end up like totally changing this. Hello. I don't know what to do in the background. biggest problem with painting is I really never plan anything out super well, so I tend to spend a lot more time just staring at a painting than actually working on it. So kind of becomes a problem when I want to do live videos because it's not very entertaining if I'm just staring at the painting. So in the future, I'm going to try to plan things out a little bit better. Actually, I thought I did that with this one, but then it just didn't happen, so maybe it's just not possible for me. But with watercolors, I will have to plan a little bit better because there's not as much going back. Ooh. I think people are always so scared to mess up their paintings when it's like the way I paint is it's all a mistake. So, but you just keep covering it up. So like you shouldn't be scared because if you just keep going over it, there's nothing scary about it. Also, another tip: if you're working from reference, you get to a point where you don't see your under sketch or anything like that. What I do is take a picture of it, and if you have an iPad or some sort of tablet, I impose it onto the picture and kind of make sure I'm getting my proportions right, or at least close to what I want. It just helps sometimes if you start getting lost in the middle and don't know how to go back from there. And it's totally okay just to paint over stuff, even if you did a lot of work on it already. It's just sometimes you have to do it. I'm probably gonna go another like 10 or 15 minutes and I might call it for the day. I just have some other stuff to take care of today. But yeah, I would like to hear your guys' opinions on just like the live and everything. I know I'm super awkward sometimes and I'm kind of new at this, so I'm still kind of figuring out what to do here. But I'd love to hear what you guys think, what you want to see. Like I said, I'm going to be teaching some in real life classes soon, so if there's a way I can kind of mix the two things and use that work, some of that work, you know, to show you guys as well, I'd love to do that too with watercolors. I just posted a recent post of a watercolor I did yesterday. If you want to kind of see my style, it's much more kind of children's-y, like illustrative book style. Also follow me on TikTok and Instagram. I'm way more into doing YouTube lives now. I was doing TikTok lives for a minute, but it's kind of weird over there, I will say. No shade to my fans, because I do enjoy TikTok, but I think just the live vibe is a little bit different on YouTube, so I've been sticking to that here. Right now, my work schedule is a little bit up in the air, but I should at least have one weekend day free every week, so I'm going to try to stick to that schedule for doing my YouTube lives, depending on weekly factors, but I'll try to, I want to make sure I have stuff scheduled in advance. I'm not going to just show up randomly. I was also thinking of maybe showing somehow I get photo reference out in public and how I kind of combine my imagery and create my own reference if that's something you guys are interested in as well. Luckily, I live in New York, so there's I have a lot of interesting things to take pictures of. But people underestimate what's around them. There's a lot of cool stuff out there, no matter where you live. And pretty much everybody's phones can take decent photos, enough at least to take reference. So there's some easy ways to do it. I mean, maybe my next acrylic, maybe I'll do another like pop culture kind of piece. If there's someone you want to see, let me know, like a movie character or a TV character or a singer. I don't know, something like that. Kind of like to do those as like kind of in between paintings, just for practice, really. I like to do portraits. That's where we're going to call it for today. After this is over, I'll put some links in the thing here, whatever the hell it's called. My Amazon affiliate links. If you want to buy stuff that I use, I have it all in my Amazon thing. That also helps me out. It's, a little bit of money there. Let me know what you want to see in the future. I'll be doing watercolors next week at some point. If you want to see something specific, let me know. Perhaps a character or something like that. That would be cool. Thanks for joining me. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram. And I will see you guys sometime next week. And have a great weekend.